Hi, today is January 23rd, 2009. I'm Jordan Berry.
And I'm Carmen Woods. Welcome to BHS News.
On Wednesday, the Renaissance program sponsored breakfast. Renaissance students were invited to the Keller Building for biscuits and gravy with eggs. Each semester, Renaissance provides food for the kids. To be in Renaissance, you need a high attendance and must have high grades.
On Thursday, the Brashear Tigers traveled to La Plata to split a pair of conference wins. The Brashear Lady Tigers took an early lead of as much as 4 points, but La Plata had closed the gap to 8-7 after one quarter of play. The Lady Bulldogs managed a 4-point lead of their own in the second and led 25-21 going into halftime. The game was closely contested in the third, with La Plata finishing ahead 36-31, but the Lady Bulldogs pulled away in the late minutes of the game to win by a score of 53-41. Shelby Rogers led the scoring for Brashear with 20 points. Stephanie Elsie had 6 points. Macy Rogers and Caroline Slavin scored 5 each. Katie Smith had 3, and Emily Ladwig scored 2 points.
The Brashear boys got off to a quick start and opened an 8-point lead before ending the first quarter 14-10. La Plata riled in the second, taking a small lead before Brashear recovered and took a 24-22 lead at halftime. Brashear came out strong again after halftime, running up a 13-point lead and led 45-36 after 3 quarters of play. La Plata's halftime rally brought them within a point, but they never gained full lead against Brashear. Brashear took the win 61-55. Kylie Watson scored 18 points, Ryan Ferdig added 17, Trey Treasure had 14, Matt Thomas had 5, Justin Hazen had 4, and Anthony Ambrosia had
3 points.
On Friday, Bevere hosted the Tigers for a pair of conference basketball games. The girls' game was neck and neck in the first half, with the score tied at 8-8 in the first quarter and 23-18 in favor of Bevere at halftime. The third quarter was a duplicate of the first, with both teams scoring 8 points each to make the score 31-26. Bevere then outscored the Lady Tigers 21-14 in the fourth quarter to pick up the 52-40 win. Emily Ladwig paced Brashear with 13 points. Stephanie Elsie, Abby McKim, and Macy Rogers scored 8 points each. Caroline Slavin had 2, and Shelby Rogers scored 1 point.
In the boys' game, the Tigers went to work quickly in the first quarter, running up a lead. Brashear led 22-14 after the first quarter and 37-21 at halftime. The Tigers cruised through third quarter, leading 58-41 going into fourth. Bevere mounted a rally in the fourth, but still fell short, with the final score being Brashear 70 and Bevere 59. For Brashear, Kylie Watson had 16 points, Trey Treasure scored 14, Justin Hazen added 8, Matt Thomas and Ryan Ferdig had 7 each, Anthony Ambrosia scored 6, Dylan Redding, Adam Songer, and Hayden Coyne scored 2 points each, and Zach Reeves scored 1 point.
Monday night, Brashear traveled to the North Shelby tournament to face Knox County in a first-round game. The Lady Eagles jumped ahead early to lead 14-6 at the end of the first quarter. Brashear trailed by as few as 5 late in the second quarter before another Knox County run put them ahead 25-14 at the half. It was all Knox County in the second half as they extended their lead to 48-18 at the end of the third quarter on their way to a 55-23 win. Shelby Rogers scored 13 points for Brashear, Abby McKim and Emily Lodwig scored 4 points each, and Macy Rogers had 2 points.
Brashear boys jumped out to a commanding 22-5 lead over Scotland County at the end of the first quarter and led 39-20 at halftime. The Tigers from Brashear continued to outscore Scotland County, cruising on to a 66-35 win. Ryan Ferdig and Trey Treasure scored 14 points each for Brashear. Anthony Ambrosia added 11, Justin Hazen and Matt Thomas added 10 each, Kylie Watson had 4, Jay Scudder had 2, and Cody Snelling scored 1 point.
On Wednesday, the Brashear Lady Tigers traveled back to North Shelby for the consolation semifinals game against La Plata. Brashear scored the first 2 points of the game, but La Plata scored the next 11. The Lady Bulldogs held a 13-4 lead after the first quarter of play and led 26-11 at the half. Brashear fell further behind after the half and trailed 40-21 after 3 quarters, but mounted a late rally to close the lead to single digits. La Plata held off the late charge and advanced to the consolation game with the 53-43 win. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 13 points, Shelby Rogers had 9, Emily Lodwig added 7, Stephanie Elsie, Caroline Slavin, and Sydney Slavin had 4 points each, and Abby McKim scored 2 points.
On Wednesday night, the Brashear boys traveled to North Shelby for the second round of games against Knox County. Knox County led 19-15 after the first quarter of play and 31-24 at halftime. Brashear tried to gain the lead coming out of the locker room but failed as Knox County outscored the Tigers 55-40 at the end of the third quarter and took the win, beating Brashear 73-65. For Brashear, Trey Treasure had 28 points, Kylie Watson scored 18, Ryan Furdig had 14, Matt Thomas added 3, and Justin Hazen scored 2.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week.